Happy Friday, everybody. It's Chamber Check-in time. And today I have Ken's Director of Stoke, Mr. Hospitality, and former U.S. Road Champion with us today, Ramey McManus. Hi, Ramey.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Chamber members.
Thanks for taking up some time with me. I'm stoked to learn and help share a little bit about Ken and its story and kind of take us from the beginning to now. And I can't wait for you to help share that journey. Um, these chamber check-ins, Ramey, as you know, are great ways to help share our member stories, their products and services, and meet the people. But before we get to you and Ken, I get to thank our series sponsor. It's Delta Dental of Idaho. And as you know, Ramey, Delta Dental provides best-in-class dental insurance benefits to businesses and Idahoans, and they've been doing it for over 50 years. And with that,
all of our staff members are on Delta Dental as well.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to share a fun factoid that's relevant to today's conversation. Here we go.
Did you know that snails have 26,000 tiny teeth all lined up in rows? Escargot with garlic.
Escargot, baby.
I didn't hear it. My sound was off. Too bad.
Well, Ramey, we've been friends for a long time, and you've been a huge community steward. And when you spawned State and Lemp, I can't remember what year it was over maybe a decade ago. You've had such a journey, and you've been a chamber member for many, many years. And I want to thank you for that investment with us. And my wife and I, we love going and having the experience that Ken offers. And why don't you tell us a little bit about the journey, the remodel or gut of the new place? For those that don't know, really quick, the restaurant Ken, it's at the old former Angels location. And for those of that's been around a long time in Boise, the old Shakespeare Festival or the Shakespeare Theater's Natural Amphitheater on the corner of 9th and Main. And you've gutted that old area into what it is now. And so tell us a little bit about the history from State and Lemp to Ken before we get into some other stuff.
Yeah, it was a fairly long history for us, but in hindsight, it feels like it was yesterday that State and Lemp started. It was about 9 years ago. But fast forwarding to Ken, we were at State and Lemp for 5 years, and then made the conscious decision to grow for many reasons, so we could influence the community more, be more involved in the community, be downtown. We felt like being downtown would not only be good for us, good for business, but also good for the city of Boise, who had welcomed us with open arms at State and Lemp and been huge supporters of us. But also by moving downtown and having a larger space, it meant that we would have the opportunity to have a bar that we could welcome more people in. It would be a little bit more of a casual experience. People could experience who we are and what we do without reservations, just being able to pop in and visit. And by doing so, we could make more money and be able to give back more to the community that's given so much to us. So it was a process, of course, taking the space over in nearly a 2-year remodel. And as you mentioned earlier, we finished our remodel the day after restaurants shut down due to COVID. So we had the opportunity to take a deep look at ourselves and what was important to us. So throughout that first year, we actually didn't open the interior space to anyone, and we utilized that Shakespeare Festival grounds. Like you mentioned, it was the original home of Shakespeare Festival in 1976 was the first year. They held Midsummer Night's Dream. That was the only play that they did. But we had the opportunity to host about 60 concerts that year. And we were one of the only venues that year to actually have live music. and did so in a very safe manner, taking every length to make people feel safe. And to see people's faces light up when they saw live music for the first time in a few months, it was really heartwarming. And we did so many different things in those first couple of years to not only stay afloat, but to stay relevant in the community. We could have just paused for a while and come back. But we felt like it was, one, for our staff members and for the city of Boise, it was important to stay relevant and to be active, creating nonprofits like City of Good and a few others, Fair Idaho, and getting even deeper involved with the community in the city of Boise was essentially what we did during those first couple of years. And in the last, I guess since November, really since May, is the first time that we've been fully open in every aspect of the business. And that's the tasting menu, which is what people really know us for. The 5 to 7 course prefix menu, and then having the bar open as well as the patio and the picnic series that's outside on the amphitheater. So we are just starting to hit our stride after we took the space over in 2018, late 2018.
Well,
4 years.
Wow. And you talk about remodel, but you guys truly gutted that space, rebuilt the whole kitchen, redid all the flooring, all the walls, everything, and spent copious amounts of time in there and huge investment as well. And so I'm just so thankful to be able to see that success come to fruition after all that effort and investment, Ramey.
Yeah, it was it was really important to us to revitalize the space, make it our own, and kind of show more of our personality. And like you said, it was a big remodel. We did completely gut the space, ripped out 70% of the concrete in the floor, redid everything that you could imagine. And it was a bit longer than we anticipated, but in hindsight, opening up 3 months before restaurants shut down would have been even worse for us, really.
Right.
So, while I was fighting tooth and nail some days with the contractors, if I would have known what was coming down the road, I would have just hands up, go as slow as you want, man. It's not going to matter to me. So,
Hey, it is an experience to have that 5-course prefix meal. Why don't you help educate the listeners on exactly what that experience is? Maybe dive a little bit deeper into that evening.
Yeah. So yeah, we at Kin, one of the biggest, most important goals that we have, essentially our mission is to make connections and deliver experiences. And whether that connection is between us and the guest, or us and the farmers, or the guests that are sitting, essentially inches away from each other. And these are strangers, mind you. The experience that we deliver to them is unique. And oftentimes people say we're the best restaurant in town. I hear it all the time, but I don't necessarily believe that we're the best restaurant in town. I just believe that we're a different style of restaurant. There's many restaurants in town that can deliver incredible food, incredible service, and they have these beautiful spaces that are also curated. And I won't go into details on who those are, but I think that there's also wonderful family-style ethnic foods here in Boise. And so we would never say that we're the best restaurant. We would just say that we are very different than other restaurants here in town. So getting back to connection and experience, when you walk in the door for the tasting menu, you're greeted right then with a cocktail or an NA cocktail, whichever you prefer. And we give you a chance to browse the gallery. We're also a full art gallery. We rotate our artwork every 15 weeks, which is every 3 menus. Right now we're doing Karen Eastman, a wonderful local artist who's actually been selling quite a bit of work. So, and the menu is actually based on her work, her philosophies, her techniques, some of the stories that she shared with us growing up, and individual pieces as well. And you'll see that throughout the course of the menu as we tell the stories. So every single course has a story that is told before we serve the course, and then we tell the story of the course and the ingredients and what have you. So every guest is sharing that same experience. They're sitting next to each other, enjoying the same food, sitting in a curated art gallery. So it's something that is, like I said, very different than other places. But the connection that you get to the art, the connection you get to the food, the farmers, and the guests sitting next to you is really the most important thing to us. Of course, we strive to have the best quality food and the best quality service. But the thing that makes me the happiest is when people leave and don't say, oh, the food was incredible. They say the experience was incredible. That's really what we're going for. When sometimes I talked to a Dutch couple that was here last night, and they had absolutely no idea what they were getting into.
Right.
They called. We had a late cancellation, so we were able to squeeze 2 more people in. They called about 5:30. We were able to get them in. And the wife was talking to afterwards, and she asked her husband, what's the story? What are we doing? And he said, I have absolutely no idea. And he sat next to a couple of our regulars that were coming in last night. And this gentleman, said to him, well, I think that you'll find it's a fairly unique experience. And the Dutch gentleman said, well, it's a unique experience already. I can't wait to see what happens next. So I had a great conversation with them after dinner while they were in the bar having a few drinks or a drink. And they were very complimentary, but the experience was what they were so complimentary about. They said that the food was incredible, and they likened it to a few restaurants in the Netherlands and in Amsterdam.
Wow.
But what they were most impressed by was the ability to have conversations with people outside of their comfort zone to a point, and learn more about them, and then learn more about our city and our community in doing so. And I think that that's what makes Boise so unique. I'm not 100% sure that this type of model works in every city.
Right.
Take New York City, that is already completely packed with people. You're next to people all day long, every single day. And in many restaurants, you're sitting this close to guests no matter what, but you're not going to necessarily talk to them. But by delivering them an experience like this, you open the door to conversation, because you're having the exact same food, the exact same wine, you're hearing the exact same stories. And so it just kind of lends itself to opening up, or, hearing what one person's talking to you or talking to their guest about. And then you kind of eavesdrop after a glass of wine or two, and then it's on from there. You're fast friends at the end of the night, and you have a drink afterwards.
Yeah. You're welcomed as a guest in your home. There's the family dinner table that everybody's sitting at, with the details, with your I think your grandmother's silverware.
My grandmother's spoons.
It's so rad. And then you get a story about each course, and it's from your chef, your waitress, your dishwasher. It's stories that it incorporates everyone, and I really love that.
Absolutely.
I love it. And, like you said, the food's incredible. It's an experience. You got to meet new people. Okay. So we have the prefix monthly meals. It's usually every month. You guys do a really good job with curating the product and not overstocking unproductive inventory that's always fresh. And so you've got the monthly menu. And that's open Wednesday through Sunday. Tell me about
Wednesday through Saturday. We do 1 seating Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then we do 2 seatings on Saturday. We do a 6:15 and a 9 p.m. The 9 p.m. seating, we call it the Saturday Night Supper Club. Yep. It's not a club per se. What we do for that is we kind of let our hair down a little bit more. Yep. Obviously you've known me for years. You know my personality. A little bit more of our personalities shine through in that supper club. It's a little bit more raucous. People have been here for a drink before they come in to have dinner. Essentially, the wine pairing is free. it's not the wine pairing being free, but the meal is discounted to $95. That includes wine, whereas on a regular seating, it's $95 for the meal and then an additional $40 for the wine pairing. Okay. So yeah, it's a good time. The music's a little bit louder. It's kind of a party atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. For those of you who are interested in trying it out and more, used to European style late dining, or just want a really cool night out on a Saturday night, the Supper Club is one to hit for sure. Gives you an opportunity to try us out for a little bit less money. And like I said, a little bit more of our personality shines through.
Right. Yeah.
Our personalities are very loose. I'm not sure if it was Chris who coined it or myself. We always use it, but we take what we do seriously, but we don't take ourselves all that seriously.
Right.
So we want to make people feel warm and welcome when they come in, like they are going to their grandmother's house and sitting down at the coolest Thanksgiving dinner that they've ever had with not only your wild uncles, aunts, and what have you, but friends and family that you make along the way.
Ramey, I'm throwing your website on the bottom of the screen and a phone number. You can reserve dinner through the website or just give Ramey and the team a call. We have a few more minutes, and I want you to talk about the bar.
Yeah.
And I'd also love for you to talk a little bit about the handcrafted cocktails and the bar menu, because there's two separate things. You go to Kin, and there's two. We're talking about the prefix meal that's open Wednesday through Sunday. You got the 7 o'clock and the 9 o'clock, and then we have the bar that I can just walk into, have a cocktail, order from the bar menu. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So yeah, the bar is open essentially the same times as the tasting room. We're open Wednesday through Saturday. Opens at 5 o'clock for the bar, and it's walk-in traffic only. No reservations accepted at all, unless you have like a very large party. We can certainly accommodate that. So we have about 65 seats in the bar, and we have about 65 seats on the patio. It's our style, but it is much more casual. We have handcrafted cocktails. We use ingredients that are sourced locally. You won't find pineapple juice and things like that on our menu. We try to use inventive ways to come up with different flavors, using produce and things from local farmers. The only signature thing that we have on our menu that we've ever had between State and Lemp and here is called the Moron. It's a drink that's made with carrot juice. Carrot in Welsh is moron, so it's not necessarily named after me, but I sometimes I tell people it is. So yeah, carrot, ginger, lime, aquavit, and gin. So that's a delicious drink. We do have bar food as well, and we serve it fairly late, almost later than any other restaurant and bar in downtown Boise. So it gives some of the service staff an opportunity to come over after they get off of work. So we do like a sturgeon fillet sandwich, fillet of sturge, and that's all locally sourced from here in Hagerman.
Yep.
We have a hot dog. We have a couple of gentlemen on the staff that one of them, Matt, is Polish, so we call him the Weenie Wizard. He knows every recipe in the world for tube meat. It's pretty incredible. Awesome. So yeah, we want to make it approachable, but we also want to make it, very high quality and in line with the things that we do in the tasting room. Mabel's chicken is kind of an interesting thing. Chris has been making karaage chicken, which is a Japanese style fried chicken for years. He's of Japanese descent. But what we found out is that Maffa chicken, there's a few pronunciations of it, but Maffa chicken is very close to karaage. And that was actually originated in Ontario, Oregon. And so we worked with a woman, a 97-year-old woman named Mabel, and talked to her about her recipes and like the origin history of it. And so we are serving Mabel's chicken on our menu. So it's kind of her recipe mixed with karaage. It's really it's fun to be able to do that and make integrations with other people in the community and the surrounding areas. But yeah, and we also have one of the things that we're very, very proud of, especially in today's times. We have non-alcohol bartenders.
Yeah.
So they're dedicated non-alcohol bartenders. We have quite a few NA drinks that we feature at the very top of our menu. So they're very sophisticated, very complicated drinks that make you feel like you're having a cocktail with your friends when you're here. It doesn't feel like you're drinking juice or a Coca-Cola or whatever when you come in, and no one will know the difference, unless you want them to know the difference.
Right. Yeah.
So we're very proud of that. But at the same time, we take great pride in our other cocktails as well. So.
Yeah, when Michelle and I come in, we'll be taking a hiatus from alcohol for a few months, and we'll come in, have the full prefix meal, but we'll do the non-alcoholic drinks, and it's just the same amount of fun. And Ramey, I got to tell you, it's so cool to listen to you describe the thought that goes into the meals, the cocktails, your hospitality. That's what sets you apart. That's the unique experience. The time and thought that goes into every detail of Kin.
Well, and it's certainly not me. I mean, that's why we're called Kin. We are a family of like-minded individuals, fairly like-minded individuals who work very hard to make sure that our personality and our ethos is shared amongst the community when they come in. And it's very important to us. And you talk about us as a restaurant, we talk about ourselves as a restaurant, but for the most part, we barely see ourselves as a restaurant. We kind of just see ourselves as a community organization that is delivering a service to Boise and to travelers to the area. And it's much more than delivering food and service to us. It's about giving that experience, and it's about making those connections. And it's about Boise, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've been, State and Lemp and Kin has been nominated for a James Beard Award for, 4 or 5 times. And I didn't really know what the mission and vision of the James Beard Award was. So I'm going to read that really quick because I looked it up today. And the James Beard Awards is to recognize exceptional talent and achievements in the culinary arts, hospitality, media, and the broader food system, as well as a demonstrated commitment to racial and gender equality, community, and sustainability, and a culture where all can thrive. I know that's why State and Lemp and Kin has been nominated for the James Beard Award 4 or 5 times.
I hope so.
Yeah. I mean, that is a huge honor, Ramey, for all of that. And you guys exude that in every single meal that you guys make.
We definitely try. We have a diverse culture here at Kin. And it shows in the way that we do things. It shows in our food, it shows in our development, and it shows in the way that we approach, service and hospitality.
Okay, final thing before we go, 14th floor. Tell us a little bit about that opportunity, and then I'll share my
yeah.
On that.
Well, speakeasies are becoming very popular, and there are a few speakeasies here in town, and people are really fired up about them. They're not so much speakeasies as they are bars, right. Because everybody knows about them. When we first were going through the whole process of remodeling, we actually needed a space to house the liquor license because they can't lay dormant, right, for more than 60 to 90 days. And so I talked to the building ownership about finding a small space so we could have a bar to keep our liquor license during construction. And they showed me like an 11th floor that was like 2,500 square feet. I said, no, That's ridiculous. So they said, well, we have an office on the 14th floor. It's 250 feet. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I checked it out. And so, yeah, we had a speakeasy called the Ampersand for the entire time that we were under construction. And so for people that found out about it or, or were privy to it, they really loved it. It's essentially a 12-seat bar on the 14th floor. And then when we opened downstairs, and we moved the liquor license downstairs and everything, it's kind of been just sitting up there. I did remodel it so it doesn't look like your grandma's basement on the 14th floor anymore. It looks a lot more like Ken does. But it is available for private events now. And eventually it will be open as a speakeasy again, but we want to focus on our efforts downstairs for now. But yeah, I mean, anybody can reserve the 14th floor for, a group of 10 to 12 people. Smaller if you want, but 10 to 12 people is kind of the magic number. And you have your own private bartender and a view of the city. And it's definitely a unique thing. We're the highest bar in Idaho, or we have the highest bar in Idaho. So it's kind of a unique thing to be able to offer to the city.
It's so cool, Ramey. It's such an opportunity to have this accessible to the community. Thank you for all of your efforts. You and your whole team. You guys have really had the shoulder to the wheel for many years, and I look forward to the next time I come in and cheers with you, Ramey.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. My team appreciates it. We are a big team. We are a big family. There's a lot of things that we strive for here, and supporting our family is one of the biggest things. We're not outwardly trying to change the restaurant industry, but it is, we are trying hard to do things differently. One of the things, is everybody on our staff has health insurance, medical, dental and vision insurance. The front of the house and the back of the house is all paid salary. They all have paid time off. They all have 401k. So we try to do things a little bit differently than other restaurants. Not to say other restaurants aren't doing things that are absolutely fantastic, but we try to set ourselves apart and try to make the restaurant industry just slightly more professional than maybe people see it. So we'll continue to try our hardest and continue to try to give Boise and the surrounding community something unique and something they can count on.
Well, you're like Yoda, Ramey. There is no try. There's only do or do not. And hey,
I look like him too.
Yeah, you do. Well, hey, thanks again for the friendship, Ramey. Much appreciated. Thanks for everything you do in the community with City of Good, hiring people, giving them great benefits, and producing that experience like none other.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Thank you, Chamber, and thank you for everyone tuning in to check us out.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
You too. Thanks, Paul.